believe that I turned this off. Let me turn it back on. All right, how's that? Can you hear me? Yep. Awesome, fantastic. First and foremost, thank you so much. It's an honor to be here and address you today. The couple of hours that we spend together, I hope to be very informative to you. Your time is valuable. I have a small head, so this is going to fall off. I'll do my best with this. Let's just get started. How to win the future. I talk a lot and I work almost every single day in my company, and I'll get to who I am in just a second, but I spend almost every day in my company thinking about what's next. I sold my first car when I was 18 years old. That was almost 36 years ago, as I'm 54 now. A lot's changed, would you agree? And if anybody's been doing this more than 10 years, 15 years, a lot's changed. But quite frankly, I will tell you, since the first car I sold in June of 1987, nothing's changed in some ways. In some ways, absolutely nothing's changed. There's still a car, there's still a customer, there's still payment. So we're going to talk about the future and what I see in a couple of different ways. Let me just be blunt here and tell you that I would like to, let's see here, why is this not working now? It worked, I tested it, there we go. First, again, thank you to DCDW and Paul for having me. I genuinely appreciate it. This is not working. I am so sorry. I'm going to have to stand closer. All right, let me tell you a little bit about who I am. I apologize for that rough start. As I told you, I sold my first car a long time ago. Today, I work with about 100 dealers in the United States, everywhere from independents to Bugatti. We have a very wide scope of agreement. We do everything from newspaper to TikTok. We have a staff of about 50 in total that we work with for that 100 dealerships. So everything, as you can imagine, is service-based orientated. I talk a lot about that. I wish the clicker was working better. I'm going to skip that one. I'm going to go straight to what I want to talk about today. How many of you would agree that in today's world, this defines our world just a little bit? Yes or no? And I do ask for a little, oh, look, I don't even have to ask. You guys are awesome. Audience participation is great. So when I ask if you get it, if you could, just raise your hand. That was awesome. So would you agree that this is a little bit how we run our lives today? Yes? Yes. Okay. In my office, when I run around and chat with our staff, I oftentimes say, could you please lift your head? Could we just get out of the computer for just a moment? Could we just get off the tablet for a moment? Could we stop texting for a moment? Could we just lift our heads and talk about the day? Could we be in the moment? Could we interact? Does that make sense to you guys? Because we're doing a lot of this, aren't we? This is my point. Today I'm going to invite you to think a little different for the 2 hours that we have to spend together. Again, my goal is for you to leave and say, I have some actionable items. A few things I can take back to my business today. Yes. Is it? You're going to change the battery? Okay. No worries. I can be manual as well. I want you to take some things back today. Would that be fair of me to ask of you to say, hey, pay attention. I want you involved with me for 2 hours. I flew almost 7 hours to be here. I have nothing to sell you. I'm only here to educate. It's got to be worth your time. I would like it to be worth my time, and I'd like Paul to be happy. So I ask you for the next 2 hours to look for little nuggets, things that you could take back to your business. A writer-downer, something that you could say, hey, I can't forget that. I've got to do that. Sometime in the next 2 hours, that's what I look for you to take back. That means it's worth my time and worth yours, okay? So these are the things that I think that we do this for. We bury our heads because we have reports that we got to give to someone, most of us, or you're in the room and you're the one who gets the reports. I say this to all my staff and all of our clients. There are no grays, no threes, and no babies in my life. It's a yes or no, it's black or white, it's one or two. Right here, I would say you're either the person who has to provide the report or the person getting the report. Would you agree with that? Thank you, sir. And those reports are KPIs, tracking, managing, strategies, automate. Is it more efficient? Is it faster? Is it cheaper? Yes? So, again, I invite you to think just a little bit different, and I'm going to ask you to think about this. I've taught this so many times now, it's like the back of my hand. The first conversion. How many times have you heard the word conversion today? A bunch? KPIs, conversions, CTAs, etc. It's my belief when I ask you to think just a little different. I ask you to consider the fact that maybe the first conversion's not on a website, it's not on an SRP, it's not on a VDP, it's not on the home page. I ask for you to consider this. Maybe the first conversion is the human mind. And what I want to share with you today and why I believe that is, if the customer doesn't like you, do you stand a chance? No matter how good your website's set up, no matter how good your business is set up, it doesn't matter. Raise your hands. Does it matter if they don't like you? So are you relevant? Do they understand your brand? Are they inspired to do business with you? I ask of you to kind of deeply ingrain that as I go through the presentation today, because it's all going to go back. Most of what I talk about today is going to go back to this conversion, this first conversion of the human mind, which is, I like these guys. Maybe I'll do business with them. Do you think that the CTA button on your website gets clicked a little bit more often if the customer says, I like these guys? It's easy. It's easy to do business with them. Make sense? So I introduce you to what you've seen a little bit of today, but I go very deep down this rabbit hole. This, to me, is the greatest website in automotive at the moment. There is no better. And let me tell you why. Immediately, first and foremost, it's a car dealership. Do you see a car other than just a little tiny bit of piece of that car that she's waving her arm out of? No? It's implied they sell cars. There's really no reason to show a car, because they're converting the human mind. They're getting somebody to go to this website and immediately think to themselves, it's a little different. I don't see a car. They're not shoving cars in my face. They're not shoving banners in my face that say payments and no down and this and all these kind of offers. Would you agree it's just a little different? So let me tell you why they're able to win this. And it's going to be a little bit of a common theme of other websites that I show you that do it well. How many websites do they have? One. Thank you. One. They have one website. Please raise your hand in here if you have one website. Keep going. How many people have a website for the car dealership? I would think more. So fair enough that just in this room there's probably 100 different websites for auto dealers. You have a website provider, which I'll go deep down that in a little bit. But the point is that they have one website with one team behind that website. Do you think that they track every picture, every CTA, every single thing in analytics behind that one website with a team of people that's as big as this room? Yes or no? So my point being there would be, they know that that helps convert. This. I want you to remember the girl doing this, because that's what you see when you go to their one website. How do you think it makes you feel if you're a consumer and you've been to all sorts of other, and we'll go down this and show examples of normal automotive websites. But when you see introducing Love Your Car Guarantee, 24-hour test drive, 30-day returns, and boy, isn't it free, isn't it fun, isn't it easy? Look at that picture. How many words is a picture worth, guys? 1,000. What is that girl telling you about about doing business with CarMax? Please get out of your normal everyday thoughts of running a car dealership and think like a disruptor for a moment and ask yourself, what do you think a normal consumer, John and Mary, sitting on their couch at night thinking about buying a car, get out their laptop, start looking for a car, they go to a normal car dealer's website, and then she says, hey, maybe we should check out CarMax. Hypothetically. And I know it may not be completely relevant to you here, but you will have a disruptor here that does something similar, I guarantee it. So what happens when they look at this and they go, wait a minute, introducing the Love Your Car Guarantee. Honey, we can drive it for 24 hours and decide if we even want to buy it. There's not going to be any pressure. It's just going to be super simple, super easy. And you know what? If we buy it, they'll give us 30 days to decide if we like it enough to keep it. How's that make a normal consumer feel? Anybody? Audience participation? How's that make a normal consumer feel? The first thing they get told at a website, it's simple, it's easy, it's carefree. You're shaking your head up and down. And we can drive it for 24 hours. We can keep it for 30 days. What do you think? Should we keep shopping here? Yes or no? Okay, so let me take you through another example. I use this example all the time. It's kind of funny. I got a chuckle yesterday. Anybody ever been shopping with their significant other for jewelry? All right. I'm this guy. I get there and they start showing my wife things, and I go, I just want to walk over here. I don't even be around this conversation, because they're gonna hit me with the, isn't she worth it? Right? They're gonna hit me. They know human nature. Isn't she worth it? Yes, she's worth it, but I don't have enough money. So, and you worry. You say, I walked into this jewelry store and my budget was X. I won't even throw you a number, but how often is what you looked at and what she picked only X? Right? Almost never. Same is true with cars, is my point. My point is, to be fair, is that in human nature, I give you that example to take you out of the car business for a moment, to tell you that the second thing they do is attack your sense of, can I afford it? Because we're all worried. I'm on the couch with my wife, I'm shopping for a car. She starts to pick out cars and I go, oh my goodness, that payment's going to be $400 more than I want to pay. Anybody think average consumers worry about that with their budgets, with their jobs, with their families, and what they're buying? Yes or no? Yes. Average consumers. So here I get to pick, if you can see, in a $300 down payment with a $2,000 down payment and a $300 payment is what I'm telling this website on the home page, first and foremost, before I even get started, is what I can afford. How does that make a consumer feel before they've even left the home page when they go, I can drive it for 24 hours, it's a 30-day return policy, and they're only going to show me cars I can afford? When I click that button, the only cars they display in the SRP, the search results page, are cars in that price range. How does it make the average consumer feel? Trusted. Anybody disagree that this is so far a pretty good process? Because if I'm an average consumer and I feel good about it, this is where I like to go here. The way it should be is their slogan. It's CarMax, the way it should be. I see you nodding up and down, right? What do you see it at the top? Do you open up the home page and it screams CarMax, the way it should be? Let me tell you the beautiful part about why I think this is the best website in automotive right now. It's non-egocentric. They don't have, right? They don't have their names screaming. They don't have their big logos screaming. They're not telling you how great they are. They're not even giving you their slogan right below their name. Look how small their logo is. Does that send a message psychologically? I know I'm going very deep here, guys. But that sends a message to the consumer psychologically that their brand and their name and their ego is not huge. It does. Because we get to some of our websites and it's just all over the place. We're so proud of ourselves. It's right? We're very proud. So now what they do is they go, introducing your Love Your Car guarantee. $17,000 is all I can afford. And by the time you get there, you've started a conversation with the consumer. A conversation without even saying a word. Their website started the conversation. They go, isn't that the way it should be? That's why the slogan is down here and not up there. Magic words. They earned the right to deliver their slogan. That's how they designed that website. By the time we get to this slogan, CarMax the way it should be, they've earned the right. Is everybody picking up what I'm throwing down? Little raise of hands here. Does it make sense? Consumer, how does it make them feel? We're going to start flying through some of this stuff now. I wanted to spend a lot of time on that page because the home page of how they do it, and I wanted you to get ingrained in that and to understand it and see every little thing they do, from the picture to the slogan being lower to giving you a car you can afford and making you feel comfortable. It's not the experience that we typically give our clients at any one of our dealerships on any one of our websites. But we have to assume someone is, and we're competing against them. Is that fair to assume? And if we're competing against them, we will lose. So if you scroll down, what do you see? See a car yet? See more happy humans, yes or no? What are we really selling? Happy humans. We're nice people. We make people happy. And oh, by the way, we just happen to sell cars. Is anybody familiar with Simon Sinek here? Is anybody familiar with Start With Why? Did they not start with why? And oh, by the way, if you've ever seen it, I thought it might be relevant to many of you, which I saw a lot of heads nodding up and down. Simon Sinek says that Apple goes through this whole thing, and oh, by the way, we just happen to sell computers. Where everybody else selling a computer is, we're selling a computer, it's this much money, it has this much processing, it has this much, they're throwing value at you, value at you, value at you. And Apple's just, I'll get to the Apple example in a minute. Oh, and oh, by the way, we just happen to sell computers. Oh, by the way, you're going to be super happy. You're going to have your dog, right? You're going to be driving down the road, also free. Isn't that the way it should be? You could do it more of it from home, not all of it. Another reason I think that this is a really good example is because in the United States they have brick and mortar stores. They're not really an online retailer. They're very, very similar to the average dealership with brick and mortar. Scroll more. Do you see a car yet? What do you see? Tell me again. More happy humans. What's this tell you about getting a trade-in value? How many different directions do we all say we get pulled in every day? Would you agree? That's a thing that we say. I get pulled in a lot of directions, man. I'm so busy. That guy's literally, figuratively, getting pulled in different directions. You can call me crazy, I'm okay with that. I know it psychologically. You can get a trade appraisal on your car while your kid sits on your head, your daughter pulls on you. It's super easy. Does that picture not tell you just exactly how easy it is to get a trade appraisal from CarMax? And how does that make you feel as a consumer? So once I decide that I'll start shopping at CarMax, this is where I land on the SRP. I know you all know what SRPs are, right? We're not in 101 here. How many cars do you see on that page? 8, roughly, right? I mean, I know they have you could show 8. I'm going to fly through this to tell you, if you're going to take a right or downer right now, all your SRP needs. And you guys actually do it pretty well here, so I'll fly over this quickly. In the United States, quite frankly, one thing we do way worse than you guys do here, we have like 94 buttons on the SRP. It's horrible. All you need is year, make, model, price, mileage, and color. That's it. And show as many. Your website platform that you're on, if it's still for any reason horizontal, so you have one car here, scroll another car, get rid of that website provider. No offense. You know why? Because you need to show more cars. At this point, it's the search results page. Show me options, year, make, model, price, mileage, color. Let me pick one I like. Again, I try to look at this stuff as I train my staff and my clients. I look at that and go, what else do I need to know before I say to my wife, I kind of like this one? Year, make, model, price, mileage, color. Nothing else. So I click it. Once I click it, I come to this. You've heard this before, the car's the star. Many website providers have these really tiny pictures on the VDP page. I mean, I'm talking tiny. Push them. Ask them if they have another template, if they have another platform, if they have another way to expand the size of those pictures. Pictures are worth 1,000 words. If I'm shopping for a car, we all know that if there's no pictures of the cars, they'll skip it. Yes? Well, if the pictures are bad and small, they'll go to another website where they can get a better shopping experience. Yes or no? Make the pictures as large as you can, and that's when you start to have your conversion points. Let me slow down just a little bit because I went through that fast. What's the first conversion, everybody? The human mind. I hope that you all agree with that, because as I go backwards, I'll share with you. I've hit CTA buttons. Every single page that I showed you, from the home page to the scrolling down to the trade page, every page had a CTA button. Very kind of there, but not in your face. Every single point, if you had decided I'm ready to convert, you could. But by the time you make it here, you could see this even? Chat. You would say, no, there's no CTAs there. There is, there's chat. Here's where you start. By the time you get to the VDP, that's where everything is. Don't load people up with a whole bunch of please buy, here's another offer, here's another, until they get to the VDP. Let them shop their way. Convert that human mind. I like these guys. I like this site. It's easy to navigate. It has all the information that I want. They look like good people, like happy humans. It looks like if I bought a car here, I'd be happy. Here's another one just for fun. I'm not going to spend much time on this. And if anybody follows the stock, one of the reasons I'm not going to spend a lot of time on is you could fight me and say they're falling apart. I'd agree. I'd also say that for us in the US, as an example, Carvana disrupted the market no matter what happens to them. They changed our lives forever with what they did. They were really the first ones to say, well, put it on a flatbed, we'll bring it to your house. They changed our lives forever. Their website, again, you do see a car. They didn't go down the humanistic lane. But what you do see here, and I'll show you on another example, is 2 CTAs. You guys are familiar with a little brand called Tesla? Let me share with you, right? Let me share with you the website that I think is second best in our industry. And it may be a tie for first. It's so radically different. Models are different. One is a brick and mortar store to buy used cars, and one is a tech company selling cars with online purchasing. Very radically different. Do any of you have a website that when a customer pulls up your homepage looks like this? Raise of hands, your website looks like this. None. 0. First time. Audience participation has been very good, and just now, 0 hands went up. Note for those in the front, you couldn't see. There's 2 CTA buttons here. If you heard me speak yesterday, please don't answer. But what's that called? Does anybody know what it's called when I give you 2 choices? Would you like the clicker or my wallet? Which one would you like, sir? Pick one.
Clicker.
He clicked. Well, go ahead.
Options choice?
Very good. Yeah, options choice, alternative choice, close, perfect. So I'm giving an option. I'm giving an alternative choice. How many of us have trained? Don't ask them if they want to come in Monday. Ask them if Monday or Tuesday is better. Then when they say Tuesday, ask them if morning and afternoon's better. Yes? Have we all trained that way? That's option closing. That's alternative choice closing. And for some reason, we all kind of forget that that's how consumers in our mind works, and we put all these buttons all over the place, and that causes confusion. I don't know where to click. I don't know where to look. I give you 2 simple options, and yes, you're going to call me out for 4 later, but I'll show you examples where 4 works. But Tesla said, hey, we sell online. We do have some inventory. I'm going to just put the car the star almost like the VDP immediately, because we always say the car's the star. This is their home page. I don't want a Model S. I can simply go up there and click. It's just going to change the car basically. And then I have a choice. Would I like to custom order one, or would I like to pick from existing inventory? What do you think the chances are somebody clicks one of those buttons once they're on this home page? Those are baby steps down a conversion path. As soon as they click one, it's a baby step down a conversion path.
I show you this. I know you just saw the Apple store in Amsterdam. I thought that was pretty cool. I'd like to go see that place. Any raise your hands who would like to go see that? If you've been, great. I have not. I'd like to go see that place. How many of you have a website that looks like this when you load up your homepage? Notice a similarity in a way? Clicker. Clicker. There we go. We're good. I'll get it. So let me take you through this from the human mind's perspective. Yesterday I said it. I'll say it again today. I have no prizes. I have nothing to give, but you can win. What is all that space called around the picture? What is it?
White space.
Negative white space. Yeah, white space. Negative white space. How clean does that look? It's Apple. Think they put some thought into it? Company with the most cash on the planet? Think they put some thought into their website? Anybody in this room think maybe we could learn something from Tesla? From Apple? Could we learn something from any of these guys? I don't even profess to be ridiculously smart. I profess to say I'm smart enough to go look at some of the best companies in the world to learn how maybe we can communicate to our consumers. If I own a car dealership, run a car dealership, marketing manager, I'm going to go to bat for and fight for my brand, my company, where I go to work every day, to have a look and a feel more like what the best brands in the world are delivering. Not because I just want to copy them, but what's the real reason, guys? Go ahead. Personality? Yeah. Functionality and personality. I would go to both. I'd say it's got to be beautiful. This is what I teach my team. It's got to be beautiful and it's got to work. It's got to be beautiful and it's got to convert. If it's both, you got something. If I'm looking at this, I say to myself, I want to learn more. I want to buy one. I scroll down the page. Look at where it goes on the second page. Notice about the negative white space again, how clean it is. That's why we all want one. That's the reason we all stand in line to buy the 14 that does 0.1% something different than the 13. That's why we all stand in line for one that's green, that does nothing different than the one that we currently own, but they just came out with the green one. And we stand in line and wait outside in the cold to buy them. Because of how it, everybody please say it once, how it makes us feel. Give wow. I'm just going to skip that one, but isn't that kind of cool? I got a Christmas present. Hey, I got to buy something for my wife this year. Maybe I'll give her wow. Paul asked me yesterday, what's up with this Progressive insurance company? I thought I didn't introduce you to Progressive because I do follow them. I have mimicked them. As a matter of fact, if you were to go to my website right now, mydealerworld.com, as an example, I'm not asking you to, not here to sell you anything, but you would see I mimicked this website. And why? Because if you go to my website, I need to know what you're interested in. Are you interested in SEO, paid search, this, that, website optimization, consulting, text messaging? I need to know what you're interested in. So I give you a choice to click, 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 and get a quote. Just like the insurance companies do, because I'm a services company. I provide a service, they provide a product, but they provide multiple products. Does that make sense? If I go to this website and I want to buy insurance, I just pick what I want and go. Let me ask you a question. Do you know what's the one thing you notice between the Apple, and even though Tesla had red or black behind that, that's negative space. Lots of negative space around that car. I just gave you the answer. What do you notice on the Progressive site? They spend almost $1 billion a year on advertising. That's $1 billion with a B on advertising to push people to this website. Is it clean? Is it easy to navigate? Was Apple clean and easy to navigate? Was Tesla easy to navigate? Was CarMax easy to navigate? For fun, I introduced to you Pedal. Anybody know what Pedal is? Probably not. It's from the States, I believe. I think they might have different arms of it in different countries. These guys don't even sell cars. So why am I showing you this one? It's been a really big push over the last couple of years, and I think it has been here, maybe not to the level that it has been in the States, but in the States we had to buy cars, a lot of them. We had to go get cars, right? Used cars because we didn't have any new. Microchips were a problem, didn't have new. Had to go get them. Dealers would put on their website, "We buy cars." Does that inspire a customer? We buy cars. Does that? No kidding. I'm sure that you do, right? It's just not inspired. They put no effort into it is my point. They just said they did it. Egocentric again. We buy cars, you should sell it to us. These guys are kind of crushing it. Look at the negative yellow space. And let me ask you a question. If I'm in the market to sell my car, which by the way, in our market, I've had dealers buying over 100, sometimes close to 150 cars a month from consumers, what we call off the street. Not from the auctions, not from any, from simply a customer converting by saying, because we put a lot of effort into this, especially once I found Pedal and I found how CarMax was doing it, and we started to put that on websites to convert people because we needed to buy cars. Because why? If we didn't have any cars on the lot, we couldn't do what? We couldn't sell any. So I had to get really, really good at buying them too. I'd like to just submit to you this example to tell you when I'm talking about how does it make you feel. If you wanted to sell your car, get a free, no pressure, think about it offer today. How's that make you feel? Free, no pressure, go ahead and think about it offer today. Are they having a little fun with you with the copy? Not we buy cars. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy. We can laugh, right? And I think it's fun to laugh at this. But the first time I saw it, I kind of laughed. I went, it's kind of funny, kind of cute, you know? The people that we're trying to do business with want to laugh. They want to have a little fun. They want to think that you're serious, but not so serious that you can't laugh at yourself just a tiny bit. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy to sell us your car. It's 1, 2, 3. Do you see 1, 2, 3 even though it doesn't say 1, 2, 3? It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Tell us about your car, get an instant offer. Just relax, man. Just kick your feet up and get paid. How's that make you feel as a consumer if you're thinking about buying a car? Would you maybe give them a chance to give you an offer on what your car's worth? Yes? And if not, they joke. We have 50 states in the United States. That's how many states we're in. Yep, all of them. Got a question if we'll buy you a car? Doesn't matter where you live, we'll buy you a car. This is what it looks like. We'll love to buy your 2010 Honda Civic for this much month, whatever the number is. There are 12 pickup times available this week. Yes, I own it. I'm still making payments. They're asking a question. We ask, how much do you owe? Pedal says, yes, I own it, or I'm still making payments. Good time for me to pause since it says stop. Is it relating to you, what I'm saying, about the fact that we have, I say this in the States, there's 17,000 new car dealers. There's more used car dealers than new cars. There's about 30-some thousand used car dealers, pre-owned. There's 47,000 dealers in the United States. Every single one of them, for the most part, has their own website. That's 47,000 different websites. It really didn't take a lot for some of these people to think it won't be hard to compete with them because their websites are fragmented. They're different. They're all different. There's no consistency. They're ugly. They don't convert. They didn't think it out. Fair? So I want to talk to you about why a little further. I'm going to go a little further now that you got the general concept and idea of what I'm talking about. I like to talk about assets. A web visit. Fly through this for fun with you. Just ready? Here we go. 8,967 is just a placeholder. It represents however many web hits that you get on your website in any given month. Fair enough? Whatever that number is, you get 30,000, you get 3,000, doesn't matter to me. This number for this presentation represents how many web visits you get to your site. How many of you know exactly what that asset brings you back? Pretty interesting question these days, isn't it? Go ahead.
3%.
And 3% in what? Conversion rate? I got one guy in the audience that says 3% conversion rate. He's probably right because that number makes sense. I'll show you that in a minute. I love that. Clap. If I had a prize, you get one. Almost everybody that I talk to, some dealers that I talk to don't even know how many web hits they get a month. Honest to goodness, they don't know. They have no idea. They got a website. They don't know how many web hits they get. Now, I know in this room, in every room I talk to, there's people that know Google Analytics like the back of their hand and say, how's that possible? I just submit to you, it's possible, it happens. Maybe you're one of them. I won't call you out. I ask of you to think, as I said earlier, think just a little bit different. Don't even think about it as 8,903%. I love that, by the way, but think even deeper. That's how many people are visiting your website. I want you to think about this. Not just a website visit. Don't think of it as a website visit anymore. I'm begging you. Like anybody tell I'm pretty passionate about this stuff? Like I eat, sleep, and breathe this stuff. Because I care about our clients and what they're doing and whether or not they succeed, whether or not their kids can go to college. I care. I care if you're in the room that you spent time here that's valuable with me, so you go back and make more ROI from the assets that you have. Is the blue sky at your dealership an asset? What we call blue sky, the fact that you have a franchise or a dealership or a lot or anything, it's an asset, yes? So are the people that are, if you had 867 people walk on your lot on any given month, would you know how many of those people, like he said 3%, would you know how many of those people took a test drive maybe? Would you know how many of those people purchased a car, what the average gross profit was of those people? Would you know that you didn't sell enough for having 8,000 or 867 people on your lot? Would you go, oh my gosh, our closing ratio was only X, we should have sold more? Would you guys agree with that? Because it's an asset. We look at the human body on the lot as an asset. I submit to you, for the rest of today, think about the web traffic as an asset. And I'll tell you why we miss this gap. We missed this, it's a gap. It's a gap that I found. I believe I found it. I'm going to call it out. I found this gap. No one taught me this one. I'm working with our clients, and I realized I was to blame too. I was this guy over here on the marketing department. Let me paint another picture for you. So you have a website. How many of you built your own, like CarMax and Tesla and everybody? How many of you built your own websites? Okay, a pretty good number actually, 3 or 4 or 5. So when you built it, you don't have a website provider. Now you're the website provider, correct? Most of the time when we build our own websites, we build them so that we can upload inventory. So we have a provider. In the United States, we have 10 or so providers that are just Dealer On, Dealer Inspire, XXX. They provide the dealer with a website. Hence the words website provider. Who's your website provider? X. The marketing department, whether or not it's an external agency, whether or not it's an internal person or team, they provide the traffic to your site. Does everybody see what I'm saying? Somebody provides the website. It houses the inventory. We pull all the inventory up. We make it as pretty as we think we can. And then you have another meeting with someone. How many web hits did we have? How's my paid search from Google AdWords hypothetically working? How's my social working? How's my SEO team doing? These meetings sound familiar to you guys? The meeting that we've never had, I believe this in all my heart, the meeting that we've never had is who's responsible, and again, within reason, a couple of you in here built your own websites, might have been thinking this. But who's responsible for the conversion of the person that got to the site? Typically, in my world, no one. because it becomes a fight. The fight becomes, well, I brought you all the green arrows, right, in analytics, green arrows. Everything's good, everything looks healthy, everything's wonderful. You got 1,000 more, clicks into your website, and only cost per click went down a little bit. Everything's a green arrow. And sometimes the dealers say to us, but I didn't sell any more cars. Well, because then I say, well, we need to talk to your website company. And this is where it started, this belief system for me, that there's a gap. No one was talking about the conversion rates. So I'm going to enter to you guys a little bit deeper, start talking about some things that are a little bit deeper on how to do this. Who's really super familiar with the analytics? Okay, couple. Take you down even further. I believe that every single person that goes to your website is an asset. Can we think about it that way at this point? It's a human being. Somebody invented the internet, right? Let's just laugh just a little bit. Because before the internet, where did they go? Yellow pages, maybe the newspaper, but typically they went to your lot on Saturday morning and said, I'm going to go to 4 or 5 different places today and I'm going to look around. Yes or no? Anybody remember the days before the internet when they didn't actually have all sorts of info and they literally went to your lot? And then we really did care how many people came in today. We call them ups. I don't necessarily love that. But, right, how many ups did we have today? 32, boss. How many bought? 9. Great. Closing ratio is 30%. Good job. Then somebody invented the internet. And ever since, we've been in a fog. Because at this dealership, 18,800 people did not wake up on Saturday morning and go to that dealership. And I know I'm trivializing it just a little bit. But what they did do is they sat on their couch, like I said, or they were at work, taking a little time off at lunch, shopping, and they ended up at your dealership. Please hear what I'm saying. I hope that you're picking it up. They ended up at your dealership, maybe not physically, but they are a human being with a real job and a real credit score and a real wife and a dog and some money down and a budget, and they want to buy a car. And they're on your business's website. I look at that as an asset. Yes? And we don't even know how many there are. We don't really know their names. We don't know anything. The only way we could do that is if they convert. Yes? If they convert. So as an example, one thing that we do, and I teach you this and implore you to kind of think this way because I'm telling you it works. We see return on investment from this. At some point, you'll have access here, and maybe somebody will build it. I don't know. We track every single free session to the site as well as every single paid session to the site differently. And the reason we track every free session to the site differently is because it's a better petri dish of the quality of traffic. Once you start pushing business in and pushing traffic in, AdWords campaigns, social campaigns, all sorts of different ways to push paid traffic in, the quality of that traffic becomes very dispersed, and you can't really tell if the conversion rate's good or not. Social does not convert like Google AdWords, correct? It just doesn't. So you have to look at that differently. This is a dealer that's converting at 3.4%. The average person in our system converts at 1.8%. That 3%, that's why I said, probably a pretty accurate answer. He's dead on and he's doing a good job. If this dealer did not have their website optimized, this is a department that I'm telling you, you probably don't pay anybody to do. We check all the boxes. Do we have, again, maybe you check some, maybe you don't check them all, but in my world where I'm from, this is what happens. Dealer says, do you have an SEO company? Yep, we do SEO. Do you have a paid search company? Oh yeah, I got an SEM company. I got somebody who does AdWords for us. Yep, okay, good. Do you have a social company? Yep, got a social company. Got a website provider? Yep, I got a website. You want to be ahead of the game? As I asked you to implore you to think a little differently, have somebody accountable to website optimization. Make it another box that you have to check. Do you have a website optimization company or not? And by the way, it might not be the provider, because the provider is a SaaS company. Everybody know what that is? Provider is a software as a service company. They built websites because they can duplicate them very quickly and charge a bunch of money. It's a software as a service company. Brilliant, smart, but where I'm from, some of our clients have software as a service companies that provide the website to them, and understand why I tell you this again. If they have 5,000 clients, what's the chances, 500 clients, what's the chances they're going to pick up the phone and call you and say, I think we should change this button, I think we should change this page, I looked into your analytics, I think that it's not going to convert?
I'm a bit rude about that, but
no, never rude. I love contrarian views. Go ahead.
Pretty lazy.
Yes, yeah, it's pretty lazy, right? It's pretty lazy if they're not doing it, but they're not doing it because the companies that provide the websites are not service-based companies. Does that make sense? They're software companies. When a service-based company, and maybe you get good at it. I'm hoping I give you so much information today, you don't need to hire anybody. I'm just telling you how to do it. When a service-based company, or maybe somebody internal at your business, or you take hold of this, and you say, wait a minute, typical kind of lazy, crappy websites convert at 1.8%. If I pay attention, I do a really good job on my website, I kind of learn a little from Apple, I learn a little from Tesla, I learn a little from CarMax, I do all the things that'll make a customer like me, find me relevant, want to do business with me, convert the human mind first. Then I put CTA buttons in the right spots. Maybe I can convert at 3.4%. I beg of you to think of this. Does it matter if you convert at double? If you convert 1.8% better on however many website traffic hits you get at your business? It's free leads. I sit with dealers and they go, well, why don't we spend another $10,000 on AdWords? We need more traffic. Why do they need more traffic? They need more leads. They need more sales. If they're converting at 1.8%, I almost always tell them not yet. Not yet. Why? I'm going to spend $10,000 to push people to a website that converts half as good as it should? Is that fair to the client? Is that fair to you? This, is, to me, is a writer-downer. Maybe you already know this. It's not revelational in any way, shape, or form, but it's something that because of the busy world that we live in, we joke in the States about chrome-plated squirrels. You guys get the squirrel. You know, we're distracted by everything that runs past us, right? Every vendor that talks to us, every little problem we have at the dealership. And sometimes we just kind of forget to focus on the basics. There's only 5 ways to start a conversation with a customer. That's called a lead. That's called a conversion. Yes? Every single thing, I'll jump off this because it's not revelational, but every single thing that you do with marketing should have in mind, and I demand from my staff, they'll write an ad, they'll do an AdWords campaign, a social campaign, they'll build a website page, anything that they do, and I'll say, could you please explain to me how that's going to start a conversation with the customer about buying a car, please? Everything that we do should be focused on thinking about, is it going to inspire someone to start a conversation with us about doing business with our business? If not, we're going to have all those website hits, and we're going to have not a lot of conversations, and that would be, follow me here, like 10,000 people walking across your lot in a given month, and none of them stopping to even say hello or look at a car, or crack a door open on a car. Does that make sense? This is a recipe for more leads, what I'm sharing with you guys. I would say, to your lazy point, you weren't being rude, that would be lazy to do that, correct? I would say to you that if you don't know what your conversion rate is on all of your website traffic, start with free. It's the best petri dish. Things coming from Google Business Profile, you might know it as Google My Business, but Google Business Profile, things coming from organic search without a paid ad, things coming from referrals, things coming even from social. Anybody found your site kind of organically and free is the best petri dish to look at, similar to anyone else. I'd get his number and I'd call him and say, tell me how you got to 3%. I want to see how I'm doing compared to you. Does that make some sense? Because if you're not converting at a really high rate, and we have a client in here that we've messed with their site, 4.8% they convert at. They started at 1.5%. It's 300 more leads a month. And you know what he doesn't ask me anymore? Maybe we should spend more money to drive more traffic. Because we've got the people, the asset of the 11,000 people already coming to his website, converting 300 more leads a month. Do your BDC math at 10%, it's 30 cars. And we didn't spend another dime in advertising. All we did was set up the website properly. You guys do a pretty good job with SRPs. Year, make, model, price, mileage. I did some searches just for fun to see how you're doing. SRPs, not bad, got to be honest. Not going to pick that apart at all. You don't really, on many, many sites that I looked at, you didn't really junk it up with a lot of different buttons. And I applaud you for that because that's very similar to what I preach every day. Sometimes this works. There we go. I'll pick this apart a little bit. If you're in the room, I apologize. Happy to have a conversation in the sidebar later. Happy to give you my opinions. But I picked this apart just a little bit. See all this negative white space? Not the place for negative white space. Right? I pulled this up. Granted, I'm on a desktop now. I'm going to show you mobile examples. I know somebody's thinking, Troy, you got to show us mobile examples. That's all that matters these days. I also disagree with that. I start on mobile. I want to see pictures of a $40,000 car I want to buy. Sometimes I end up on a desktop to look at bigger, nicer pictures. Fair? Here, it's not groceries. Not being funny, but it's not groceries. It doesn't go linear. It kind of goes all over the place. Instant quote, view car, add to favorites, to compare. It's not the VDP that I showed you, and it's not the VDP that I'll show you again in a minute. The point I'm trying to make here is the car should be bigger. All of this should be stacked a little nicer. The buttons might actually fall below the fold. You need at this point on the VDP, you need conversion points in their face. That's the point where you do ask. They've already found a car they like. So start asking. Start asking for a conversion. Again, if you're in the room, talk to you about it later. Just want to share, as I'm searching, I got to this one, I had to show you. In my country, this looks like Nickelodeon. It looks a little bit like a green lawnmower. You know those Green Go lawnmowers they sell? I think they sell them here too. Switch to electric now. All of these brands sell gas and diesel cars. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be trying to sell electric cars. Not my point. There's going to come a time in a day that all of them, right? I got it. That's where we're going. But watch, I click through. And I have a diesel and a petrol engine. Again, I'm not being funny. I'm not here to be rude. I'm here to teach. I believe that's a bad. I believe it's a bad path. Homepage, switch to electric. I think it confuses the customer on the journey. I think there's nobody in charge of website optimization at this place. And that's my point. Again, I'm not being disrespectful. I want to help you get better at this because competition's coming, and not only in the form of the guy down the street that sells a similar product to you, but in the form of disruptors. The big companies are even going to keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. If you have a family-run business or a business that's got 10 or 12 or 15 or 18 or 30 stores, there's bigger guys even coming more, and they're going to do it better than this. And you're going to find that it's going to hurt your business. Once I picked a car, because, again, you know how I felt about that, I also think in this lineup, this is what I was talking about. You're only going to see a maximum of 2 cars. A lot of times you're going to see 1 car. You should see 6 to 8 minimally on your SRPs because it gives me a choice. Honey, which one do you like? If I see 8, I might actually see that RAV4 in white with 30,000 miles on it that I know my wife might like. I diminish my chances of seeing something on an SRP page when I load it by 75% by showing 2 cars, not 8. Is that fair to assume? It's just not as good of a setup. So I would switch this to what we call a baseball card style, where you see car, 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 hopefully a 4th, then right below it another row of car, 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 hopefully a 4th. Minimally 6, hopefully 8. Because year, make, model, price, mileage, I get a chance to see more, to pick more. I might not scroll down from here. I might bounce for whatever reason. So I picked a car. I mean, I got to hand it to these guys, right? I mean, it's right in your face. Give me your name and your number and your phone. There's not a button there that says calculate my deal, which is something I might want to do. Value my trade-in, which is something I might want to do. There's not a button there that says check availability, which is something in this day and age I might want to do. People in our country right now, we added a check availability button to most dealers when the microchip problem happened. Leads went up like crazy. What they cared about, what they wanted to know was, is it even still available? Should I waste my time thinking about this car? Does that make sense? So what does calculate my deal, value my trade, check availability, there's a couple more. But what do they all have in common? The customer might actually want to know that. And if you ask them that first, they might click the button. Let me give you a different example. What's your name? Does anybody see the difference of giving the customer what they want versus just point blank asking them for their name? Customers walk on a lot sometimes. What's your name? They get all like this, right? They get like they got to break them down. I implore you to think maybe I might be right about this. The second that I go, yeah, I'm interested, here's my name and number, my phone number, and my firstborn social security number, and all that good stuff. I implore you to think that these are our customers. And I know there's all sorts of different ages and whatnots, but I use them as an example of humans. Who's typing on the other side of that computer is a human being that would prefer to calculate their payments, to politely be told it's easy peasy lemon squeezy. Let me just give you a think about it for as long as you'd like offer on your trade-in so that maybe you'll be kind enough to sell it to us. I implore you to think that the way that the website is set up is to treat the humans on the other side of the computer the way they want to be treated. And I tell you that Tesla and Progressive Insurance and CarMax and Apple and all of those other companies that are doing it right are benefiting from it. Is that fair to say? We spend millions of dollars on the bricks, yes or no? How many of these meetings have you been in, heard of, walked by, knew the owner was having, and they tell you, well, they want us to spend $3.5 million on the upgrades. I submit to you, it's beautiful, it should be done, you should be proud of where you go to work. I've been in this country long enough to know that you take architecture very seriously. It is beautiful, right? I'm going to go home and think, my gosh, we're not good at that, okay? Beautiful, love it, but it's the second place they visit. Just yes or no. Second place they visit, first place they visit. This is the first place they visit. Your website. This is where I got picked on for 4 CTAs yesterday because I gave you the alternative choice close thing. Fair. But I designed this website for a Toyota dealership in Texas. He gave me permission to show it to you. He's proud of it. It converts at 4.8%. Okay? He started at 1.5%. His website was normal looking. kind of what I've showed you in the past, going through this. Make it yours. Do you see a car? He fought me on that one. He's like, I sell Toyotas, man. I'm like, I get it, but can we learn something from CarMax and Apple and all these other companies? Like, can we learn something that it's not, you know, I get they sell Apple sells phones, and they had phones there, but aren't they all about lifestyle? Apple, you ever watched an Apple commercial and thought, are they selling me a phone or just telling me to have a good time? What does a customer care about? And by the way, on mobile it stacks. Very similar. We get rid of the picture because you can't have it all on mobile. But it stacks on mobile. What does a customer care about when they load up your website? I want to shop for a car. I want to sell you my car. I want to service a car. Maybe I have a question. What more would they really want to know? What more do they need to know? And by the way, I didn't scream here, buy hybrids, or buy electrics, or buy this, or buy that, or anything that we thought was the flavor of the day. Not picking again, sharing, to educate. What I do care if I'm a customer is everything I might want to do is on this above the fold. Everybody knows what above the fold means, right? So above the fold, everything that the design, the website optimization, the design of what you're doing should be find your car, service your car, sell your car, ask your car, something similar to that. It's what they care about. What else do they care about? Maybe I might want to communicate with you, chat, text. Maybe I might want to know what my trade's worth. We make it very, very simple. Value your trade. It's all on the homepage. That's why it converts so high. Looks like a place. I'll come back here and look at it with you again, make sure I think. Looks like a place that would be pretty easy to buy a car from my couch, which is, by the way, the first place they are when they shop you. Disneyland has a small tangent, but relevant. Disneyland, Disney World has a trash can every 30 feet. Yep. Every 30 feet. 15 feet that way, 15 feet this way, they've got a trash can. Why? How does it make you in the moment when you're on vacation with your kids? You got a chili dog in your hand. It's starting to like just be a pain. And I'm pushing a stroller. My wife's carrying the other kids and I need a trash can. Quick. I know you might, again, think I'm crazy. Why would they put a trash can every single 30 feet? Consumer experience. By the way, once again, I noticed when I grabbed this picture, they were smart enough to take one out. I'm going to fly through this very quick so we can have a very quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some other low-lying fruit, not just website optimization. We're going to talk about Google Performance Max and some really cool campaigns. We're going to show you exactly how to set up a Google Performance Max campaign, show you the ROI that we're getting from those. You absolutely can do it here. I'm going to share with you some service and fixed ops thoughts. And I'm going to share with you just a couple other little gaps and things. We're going to move very quickly through those 3 or 4 segments because I think I've set the stage for you at this point how I feel about website optimization. Have I not? This is mobile. Very quickly. I can trade. Sales department, by the way, I kind of disagree with where that phone is. I know Paul does too. My thumb's somewhere around here where these CTAs are, right? Make sense? Find your car, service your car, sell us your car. Very quickly, I'm going to click to skip that one. I think. This is where the button should be for click to call. Fair? Click to call. Click to call is a phone call. It's the second best way to start a customer conversation. Prize for, again, I don't have a prize, but if I did, you'd get one. What would it be, the #1 way to start a conversation with a customer? Face-to-face, walk-in, but we can't track those digitally, right? #2 best way, in my humble opinion, is if they decide they want to call and talk to you because they know it's deeper than a chat conversation. They get a lot of really interesting questions. They really want to buy a car. They're hoping somebody answers. Fair? Put that button right smack dab in the middle of a mobile phone. Watch your conversion rates go up. Again, want to go through this quick because I want to get to this break so we can get back and fly through the next stuff that I've got for you. But this is a really cool picture, is it not? I submit to you that it's a little better looking than this. I submit to you it won't convert at all. And what do I really care about? I kind of care whether or not they convert. Because the person that hits this is one of the 8,967 people. And if they don't convert, what do I have? A website that somebody looked at that does not pay the bills. Fair? New and used? Implied? You probably sell new and used. Almost every new car franchise dealership does. All models to search, kind of look at this. New and used, it's assumed. No chat function. There's no place to chat. There's no place to click to call. There's no place to start a conversation with a customer. Does that make sense? It's beautiful. I submit to you that at a dealership across the world, never mind where I live, where you live, across the world, they look at a website and somebody goes, oh, good job, Bob, that looks really great. Yeah, let's launch it. Because it's got a cool picture of the car and it's got my brands. But again, you'll get this deck if you'd like it so that we can move on off of this. If you would like this deck later, I would say to you, when you get to this picture, remember, I think it passes somebody's eyeballs and they go, it's beautiful. But if I care about conversion rate, I'm losing conversions left and right on this homepage. It's just a recipe for more leads. I would say to you, his 3% is really strong. It's a very, very good conversion rate. I would submit to you that the 1.8 that I showed you is the average. I would also submit to you that some people convert way lower than 1%. It's horrible, horrific. They don't think about it at all. And I would submit to you that with good website optimization, you can get probably near triple the amount of leads that you're currently getting for no more money spent. I actually promise you, I feel, flying 7 hours to get here to tell you that and to show you how to do it is worth my time. Because I think it makes sense to you and your business. I think it protects the long term of your business. Okay? I'll close on this so we can go to the next one. And when we get back, we'll have talk about some more assets. Okay? Because you know I love assets. In closing, you'll look at website traffic as assets, guys. If you have any questions, I'll help you. I'll help you set up your website if you'd like. You can get my deck. You can email me, whatever. And when we get back, I'm going to show you 2 or 3 more things that I think are just as relevant, that really won't cost you a lot of money, just to do a little differently, a little low-lying fruit, to grab and look at your dealership from an asset standpoint just a little bit more and grab more. All right? Paul, you good?
15 minutes break.
15? 15 minutes break, guys, please, and then we'll wrap up, and I'll go through 2 or 3 more items that are going to make you some money. Welcome back. You know, during the break, someone said to me, and I hope you all semi-feel this way, they said, you know, I'm enjoying your presentation. Sometimes you can get a little tired in the afternoon, but this one's keeping me going. So I'm going to try to keep you going for a little while. But before I do that, let me just say thanks again. As Paul knows, when I'm done here on stage, I'm hitting a train to Paris with my wife. Going to be something I've never done before. You've all done it, I'm sure. I have not. So when I'm done this, I won't have time for the cordials. Let me do it now and just tell you how much it meant to me. You guys have been engaging. I think you will find this second session to be very relevant as well. I'm going to talk more about assets if this thing doesn't die on us again. I appreciate that. There we go. But genuinely, bottom of my heart, I appreciate what a great audience that you've been to present to. I hope that, again, by the end of this session, you go back to your stores, back to where you're going, back to your businesses, and you think the time that we spent was valuable. Do the best I can in the next hour to deliver that as well. So another asset for you. Let's talk about assets. You know how I feel about website traffic, correct? Website traffic is an asset. We all got that the first session, right? Let's talk about another asset. When they do convert to a lead, this 7,200 number represents leads. Nobody gets that in a month, I doubt, in this room, unless you're a large group and you're counting them all together. But individually, store by store, hypothetically, you get 300 leads a month. Over a 24-month period, you would have 7,200 leads. Can I get a raise of hands? Yes. I don't know how it is here. I don't pretend to know all of your stores or your culture and how you're built in your stores altogether. I haven't spent time in your stores. But where I come from, and maybe it's similar for you, a lot of these leads get worked 3 or 4 days. And now you might say I have an email system and we automate some things and we do reach out to these leads, but I'm talking about aggressively going after a lead. And where I come from, 3 to 4 days. And what's the reason for that? The reason for that is more leads keep coming in. It's the cycle effect, right? So as you get more leads, what happens to the person that didn't respond to you, didn't want to buy, didn't this, didn't that, and you pay? My point is it's an asset. Did you pay for the lead when it first came in? Did we look at it as that $10 or $20 lead or $5 lead or whatever you accept in your world as a lead cost, euros? I would like for this section for you to just think of the second asset that I'd like to show you a way for you to capitalize on it, just like we capitalized on using a really solid website optimization strategy to capitalize on the asset of website traffic. Here's a strategy, and I can't do this for you. Full disclosure, I'm a partner in this company, but I can't do it for you, can't sell it to you because of consumer laws over the water. So I just want to share with you the philosophy of what we're doing, why we're doing it, and have you try to find partners here or ways to maybe take the philosophy of what I'm sharing right now, which is to treat all of the leads as an asset as well. So a lead comes in to this system. This system's called dealer funnel. You'll see why I call it dealer funnel in a moment. Awaiting response, this top one that says 11 there, if you can read that. Again, I'll share the deck with Paul. If you guys, anybody wants it, just ask Paul. I'll be glad to share all of this with you. Customer comes in and they're a hot lead. They just came in to the system. Now what we ingest into the system, and to this particular system, would be really any lead source, a third-party lead, a social lead, a website lead. There could be a widget, all sorts of ways that you can bring in a lead. Now, we use text. I know you don't. So again, I might use the word text. Know what I mean to you is whatever communication system you use, like WhatsApp. So customer comes into the system, immediately we start typing. We have humans. It's not just software. Remember I mentioned, not disdain, but my thoughts on software companies, right? If you're software as a service, that mindset typically is just software as a service. So you might have a platform that you use. Even CRMs are software as a service at the end of the day. And how many discussions have we had? It's only as good as the team using it, correct? So same thing here. And you might say it's a CRM, but not really. It's really a communication tool. It's a lead nurturing tool in order to help us get more engagement from the customer. Now follow the road path, the path here a little bit. I've got this customer. I clicked on him. Thank you for your inquiry. This is Ben. Did this come through? Yes, it did. Why would I ask a question like, did this come through? I just want a response. As soon as I get a response, humanistically, that person knows I know they're there. Yes? We've all sent a text before and waited for the 3 dots to, right? Are they responding? It's similar here because we actually do have the 3-dot thing going on. Yes, it came through. Great. Can I confirm your pre-qualification? I know that this lead came through a mailer. Watch how I'm taking a traditional media and turning it into a digital long-term follow-up strategy. I use a direct mail piece, which again, don't know if you do that here or not, but this is just doesn't matter if it's mail, doesn't matter how the lead came in, it mattered that one came in. You find the way to push them in. $7,500 to $39,000 is what I'm looking to do. I know it's a mailer list because the mailer said you're pre-approved from $7,500 to $39,000. No wonder they're looking for a $7,500 car to $39,000. But Saturday would be best. You can see what happened to this lead after. We set the appointment, we push it to the CRM. That sounds trivial. You're saying, Troy, why are you sharing that with us? Because what happens if the customer goes silent? Remember that 72 hours that I talked about? Like after 72 hours, I think if we're all very blunt and honest with ourselves, there might be a rock star or two in the room. But typically, leads drop off, especially after a month. I have conversations with dealers and dealer partners of ours, and I'll say, how many leads do we have? Well, how many leads did you have last month? And a lot of times they don't know the answer to that question. Do you know why? They're already thinking of this month. We're a month-to-month-to-month business typically. So last month we had 300 leads, but they're old. They're not old. I submit to you, again, to think just a tiny bit differently and say every single lead that you have ever paid for, that you have ever received, is an asset. And it should be treated as such. What we do with this customer if they don't respond and they just kind of go silent on us is we pick a funnel. It's not AI. I won't tell you it's AI. Everybody loves to throw those words around. If anybody tells you they got an AI system, make sure it's really AI. It could be just an AI tree, you know, those kinds of things. It could be marketing automation, which is exactly what I have, which is exactly what I'll tell you it is. And we pick a funnel. What we did is we sat down and said, hey, if I have a customer that is selling a vehicle and sold elsewhere, or they came from this particular company, Cecil Atkinson follow-up, dealership follow-up. We pick a lane. Hypothetically, lead came through Facebook or Instagram or someplace, and the lead went cold. We'll say it's a Facebook cold lead. What would I want to have happen to that person that I paid, hypothetically, 10 euros, 20 euros for as a lead? Well, once I push them into one of these funnels, we get pretty aggressive days 1 through 7. And we're going after them. They're about to buy a car. We're thinking they're about to buy a car, so we don't want to miss it. And we also think, humanistically, if I tell you that I'm interested in buying a car, I don't want them going around telling people they didn't really want my business. I never really heard from them. They weren't that aggressive. They don't mind that in the first 48 hours, at least where I'm from. They don't mind being a little aggressive. Again, I'm not asking for you to be over the top. I'm saying, hey, just be there, right? Just be there. And the way you are there is you can pick. You should pick a system where this is important. Do all of you have a different personality for your store? Everybody's a little different. Everybody has an owner that says, I won't do that. And then you got another owner that says, not only do I want you to do that, I want you to do it twice as hard. Right? We all think just a little different. Pick something where you can write and help that company write the responses. I'll give you an example. This is my favorite example, by the way. Not that I care that people bought elsewhere. But what do we do with a customer that bought elsewhere? I paid $20 for the lead. I did the best I could. Whoops, they bought somewhere else. With me? Does that happen? Do you have it happen occasionally? Somebody bought a car elsewhere, a lead that you got? How about if I just clicked them into bought elsewhere, into a funnel that was built out for 10 years? And the first message that they got was, hey, we know you didn't choose us to purchase your vehicle, but we're thinking about you, just hoping your new car is going well for you and your family. Thanks for giving us a shot. How do you think that makes see where I'm going with this again? How does it make a customer feel? You didn't even need a human to type that. All you had to do is put them in a funnel. It took no human capital to do that except for 1.5 seconds to push them into a funnel. Now they're at home and they're saying, husband and wife again on the couch, I like to think like a customer. I think if we think like a customer, we can treat them the way we want to be treated, right or wrong. I would go, we didn't even hear from the people we bought the car from. What about if another week later, another message goes out? You know, hey, don't mean to be a bother. Again, no, you didn't choose us to purchase your car. Just again, thinking about you, hoping it's going well. If you need anything, let us know. And then you back off a little. Maybe 3 months down the road, they get a message from you that says, you know, hey, hope you're enjoying that car. Again, we know you didn't purchase it from us, but we want to be there for you. Here's a 10% off oil change coupon. Now I've talked to them 2, 3, 4 times in the first 90 days. It's possible. I don't submit to you that the other dealer didn't. I just submit to you it's possible they didn't. And that's the best case scenario. The other scenario is that they did communicate with them, but you are as well, and what do they think of you? How cool. Imagine every scenario, so I can skip off this. Imagine every scenario that you'd want to communicate with a customer, push them into a funnel, build out funnels for 100 days to 10 years, and communicate to them the way that you want to communicate with them through marketing automation. Now, here's the beautiful part. The second that I'm there and I go, wow, that's pretty cool. I want that 10% off oil change coupon. Or 7.5 months after I shopped for a car, haven't bought one yet, I'm still in a follow-up funnel, and my car breaks down and I need to buy a car, and I get another text from you. That's again, another communication message from you. You guys don't text as much as we do, that's for sure. So, but in that funnel, maybe 7 months later, we are truly seeing 7-month, 8, 9, 10, 15-month-old leads respond magically on the 94th message that we had sent to them over 244 days. And you know what they go? Yeah, I'm ready now. Do you have any trucks down there? Do you have any car? Do you have this down there? My credit's not that good. Can you help me? All the things that we typically hear, right? As soon as they respond, because in that, if you have 10,000 people, you can upload, you should find a system that you can upload your current database to and start building these funnels out and being able to put people in buckets so that the automation's taking place, the machine's working, nobody's doing it, and then all of a sudden the only time that you need a human is when they respond. They go back into the awaiting response folder and you're right back on it. You can have people working on those things, an outsourced BDC. You can have in-store. You can have a combination of both. These are the things that I would look for, because maybe you don't have enough staff, but when you do have staff available, you want them communicating with your clients. Yes, sir?
Do you see from the 100 in those funnels, they are cold or not buying somewhere else? Is it 10%? Is it 20% who will be in 1 or 2 years back in response?
Yeah, I mean, let's just do basic numbers, because I'll answer your question with the honesty that I have. I could dig into this system and get you any answer of how that goes, but I don't live in the back end every day. But if you take an average of 10% closing ratio of your leads, maybe you're a rock star and you do 20, maybe you're horrible, you do 5, but can we land someplace around 10 or 12 on average? So 88% of the people end up in a funnel. Make sense? 10%, 12% bought, they went through the process, they came in. And the second that they don't, I have 88% of those people that are in some sort of a funnel being followed up, depending upon how they got to us. You can catalog, you should be looking for software, building, I don't care. I'm just giving you the answer. I told you, I can't do this for you. Giving you the answer because it's an asset. I want you to at least think about, how can I follow up with all of my leads in a marketing automation way for a long period of time? Because once again, if I start getting responses from people from 3 months ago, 4 months ago, 9 months ago, 5 years ago, bought elsewhere, these guys have been awesome for 5 years. I think I'll give them a shot this time, right? Can you spend a little less money on advertising because you're bringing those people back in? You already bought the lead. Now you guys might, some of you might leave thinking, this guy's nuts. He keeps talking about assets and assets, because I believe if you paid for it, you should get the most for it. If you paid for the lead, start collecting them like, would you throw $20 away every time you got it? No, you paid $20 for John Smith's name. Use it, and use it for a long time. Yes, sir?
How many of these customers that you are chasing follow up, say, I don't want anymore? I mean,
yeah, they have a stop. For us, because it's text messaging, that's a great question. For us, we have a stopped text, message because it's text messaging, so they can opt out. And we see sometimes 6 or 7, maybe 8% will opt out. But we give them an option to opt out. I would find something that does give that option, because you've heard me say how many times it matters how a customer feels. I don't want them to feel pushed, and that's why you have to have some sort, because you'll have feelings on this, right? That's why where the question was brought up. You can write the funnels. You should find software where you can help control what's said to the customer, how often it's said to the customer, how you feel, how you can track it, so you can watch and see this is an acceptable fallout rate. You know, I would say if you're getting more than 5, 6, 7% wanting to opt out of what you're doing, then you're aggravating some people and that's not worth it. That's fair, right? But at the same time, find a happy medium where you're comfortable with what's said to the customer, how often it's said to the customer, that you can track it and that you can look at it and say, hey, I'm getting good return on investment here and I can live with that small bit of fallout. It's no different than a closing ratio of how many customers did I advertise to, walk through my doors, and didn't buy a car from me, right? It's similar in a way. I do think that's a very valid, great question. Please be careful and don't over-communicate. That would be a problem. So another thing you can do here just quickly is you can blast those people. When you bring them into a system, you're going to want to look for a system. And again, my apologies, I don't have the answer for you, but I believe there's enough tech in this country that I've been talking to people. Someone will have this soon and you should buy it because it works. I'm here to tell you it works. That's all I can do. When the customer comes into the system and you're communicating with them, you tag them with every bit of information you can. You're going to want to tag them. They want this kind of car, new or used. You can tag married, you can tag children, you can tag whatever job they have, you can tag all sorts of stuff. In particular, make model does help. Because if on a Saturday morning the truck shows up and you get a delivery of 9 new whatevers, because as I stated earlier, a lot of what I teach and talk about here is for when times get a little worse. Have times been great, guys? In the States, they've been unbelievable. Like, we broke records 24 months in a row, and everybody thought it was easy. And I keep telling all of our clients, there will come a time, and probably now, sooner than later, where you have more cars than customers again, and that's when everything that we're working on will pay off. It will happen. It's not going to be great forever. So that's why I say make the most of all of your assets that you have. The web traffic, convert higher. It's better when times aren't good. Leads, buy less. Work the ones that you have longer and more often and smarter. That's all. It'll help when times are bad. So you can catalog all of that and on a Saturday morning say, I want to pick everybody that has bad credit that wants a Toyota RAV4 or Yaris as an example, that submitted a lead through Facebook as an example. I can write a message that goes out to all of them. Say there's 342 of them over the last 2 years. I can just send out a message to them. They haven't opted out. I can send out a message to them that says, hey, I just got a truckload of RAV4s in. Didn't want to bug you, right? That's the kind of conversation he'd want to have. Didn't want to bug you. Won't send you another message for a while. Just wanted to let you know we just got 9 new ones in case you're interested. Watch that board light up. What color? I have this to trade. Would you trade it? Imagine if you wanted to, if they purchased from you however many years ago, you could just literally do, I want everybody that bought from us 36 months ago to 48 months ago, and I'm going to send them the link to my trade form and tell them we're very interested in buying your car. Thank you for your past business. Every day we have customers for asking for the vehicle that you're driving. Is there any chance you'd want to know what it's worth? If you do, here's the link to it. If not, no big deal. They just get communication. It's simple. It's easy. You can blast them. You can put them in funnels, whatever you want to do. So let me get off that because I can't solve that problem 100% for you, but I look at it as an asset and I look to you to say, find something that you can do with those leads and start treating leads like assets. Fair enough? Same thing as treating web traffic as an asset. Do not ask yourself, how many leads did I get in the last 3 years? And am I doing anything with them, or did I blow all that money? Because I have clients that spend $100,000 a month to drive leads. They currently have 300,000 to 400,000 or 500,000 leads in this system. That's $100,000 a month to buy those leads. We should be doing something with them long term, not just month to month. Okay, fair enough. Move on. Let me just take you through some low-lying fruit and service. I'm going to fly through this because it won't take long for you to get pick up what I'm throwing down. Quick fit, oil change. That's all I asked for. I just Googled oil change. By the way, I did change my location services, for this. Some of it I did in English, but I did change the location services. By the way, I got called out a little while ago. Somebody said you can't change location services anymore. You absolutely can. It's much harder to do. I'll show you how if you'd like. At some point, just ask, but you can. Quick fit. I'm assuming you're all familiar with this brand. Well, they are absolutely eating your lunch when it comes to anybody shopping for service on the internet. I propose this to you because, again, somebody in this audience wants more service work. Maybe it's not you. Maybe you are scheduling oil changes out 30 days. I got it. I'm not dumb. I ran dealerships. I know you got to have You got to have the bays, you got to have the techs, you got to have the want for the work. I just submit to you that at the end of the day, we've got millions of dollars invested in those bricks and mortar in our service departments, and then we got guys like this that go, hey, why don't I just keep popping up more and more and more and more stores to keep taking more and more and more of the business from the guys that don't really care? Because that's what they do. They don't need more space at their lot. They'll just go down the street and open up another one if they think the market supports it, yes or no? And then you get less and less and less. And does it matter? When you have more cars than customers, when times are not as good, are you going to need service work, and does fixed ops matter? They do. So oil change, quick fit, Google Business Profile. This is not, by the way, this was an ad. That was my point. They paid for that one. This one they didn't. That's Google Business Profile. All three of them, different locations. Remember, I said they pop them up everywhere until you can't win. You can win. What could you do here? You could buy an ad. You would show up above quick fit. So probably, you also could optimize your Google Business Profile, which I know you probably have because you've had speakers here talk about that. I'm friends with those guys. You should do it. We do it well as well. So if you have any questions on how to optimize your Google Business Profile and make sure the back end of your Google Business Profile has you showing up to compete with these guys that are doing it extremely well, all three places they got, let me know. Glad to help. Yelp is in the business. The point I'm going to make here, guys, is you're not going to see a new car dealership almost ever in my searches. Almost ever. Independents are buying and servicing ads. This is for a yearly checkup, correct? I got that right? Garage, I can't pronounce it, I'm so sorry. Quick Fit, there they are. None of these are new car dealerships. Again, you might not need it. You might say, I sell cars. I don't really care. I know where I come from, I care, and I know if there's this much activity. I would not have included this in my presentation if Quick Fit and the others didn't show up so much. That means there's business there to be had. Yes or no? They're showing up that much. They're not spending money on ads. They're not popping up brick and mortar stores. They're not doing every single corner of every single town because there's no business there. And the consumer thinks what? The consumer thinks it's probably less expensive to go to those guys. And they are absolutely wrong. Typically, at least for us, we find that customers spend more at these places. And do you know why? Because they're awesome at this. This is called an offer-driven ad. If nobody knows what that is, all it is an ad on Google AdWords that has an offer. That's it. Any offer. $5 off, $19.99, the price, any kind of offer that a customer can hang their hat on and go, oh, honey, I should take it to Quick Fit or wherever that place is because it's only $19.95. Again, I submit to you to think a little differently. The clients that I have, when I present this to them, go, Troy, I don't want $19.95 oil change. It cost me $38 to do it anyways. I'm losing $19. And I'm like, you're missing the point. It costs them $38 to do it too. Why are they doing it? To get the car in a lane, to put the car in a lift, to present the service to the customer that they actually and truly really need, like new brakes. And their average ticket price in the United States for a $19.95 oil change at the Jiffies, the Valvolines, all of those ones that are our Quick Fit is over $275 on average. They're just getting the car in the lane. It's super profitable. The big money game, let's get out of oil changes and yearly inspections because that's where I lose everybody. So for fun, I did that first. So now, right, so now I can get you. Transmission repair work, that pays the bills, yes? Anybody want transmission work? Pays the bills. Engine work, pays the bills. Brakes, pay the bills. Auto service, Jay's, Just in Car, Best 10, Yelp. Do you see a new car dealership? I even typed the name of the city. Would be super easy to show up for that search. If in any kind of SEO you are working on your service pages to show up for an oil change or, transmission Almere, you would show up. And by the way, they think it's worth showing up because they paid it. Here's the bad part. It's not even the ads that get me. What gets me is that it's Google Business Profile that's showing up. They're beating you organically. They're beating you organically. Draw some lines. Remember website optimization that I talked about? It costs nothing what they're doing to beat you except for a better website and a better Google Business Profile. Everything's organic and free. They're just doing it better. They're not even buying ads. There's been next to zero dealerships presence in just about any of these. Transmission replacement. I said, hey, not just a service. Transmission replacement's probably pretty profitable. I ran car dealerships. I liked it when I heard somebody say these people need a new transmission. It's 4,200 euros or dollars. Yep. No dealerships want to change a transmission. Tier 1 and Tier 2 see the value. Yearly, I even added now this time instead of a city, I added a manufacturer. You might say, Troy, I don't want everybody, right? Again, I got it. I know how you think. Do this for a living, right? So you think, hey, I don't want just anything. I want my brand. So I added a brand. Yearly inspection for a Volkswagen. I submit to you again. Not everybody driving a Volkswagen in this country bought it from you if you're a Volkswagen dealer. They might just be looking for a place a little closer to where they live. Maybe they transplanted, maybe they moved, maybe they don't like their current dealer. It doesn't matter. They Googled it. The beautiful part is they searched it. They're low-lying fruit. They searched it. I want this. Volkswagen decided to play it for you, but what's the problem with Volkswagen deciding to play it for you? They get the lead. Where's the lead go? If they're going to do that, they know if Volkswagen's willing to pay for this ad, again, I say to you, big company, bigger than just your dealership, they've got all sorts of analytics behind them. They know it's paying off. They know it works. It's pay per click, too, so why not show up? Pretty low-lying fruit for the person who clicks it. And then Quick Fit. Once again, Quick Fit's everywhere because they know, hey, we can steal this business because the dealer body in every manufacturer, in every single place. I tried a bunch of different manufacturers, guys. I can't give you all the examples. Go play with it. Go have some fun. Quick Fit's going to be everywhere. And I believe that you want some of that business. So to kind of end this thought, I would say to you, maybe you don't want annual inspections. Maybe your guys aren't all that good at doing an MPI and saying, hey, this car does need brakes, getting down on one knee with the customer, right? And saying, hey, just wanted to let you know, we put the car up on the lift and we pulled everything for you to do a safety check. And by the way, just to let you know, we code everything in red, yellow, or green. I don't know if you guys use red, yellow, and green here, but we use red, yellow, and green. Everything looks pretty good here, except for the couple of items in red. Think in order for safety for you and family. You probably ought to take a look at this. Don't have to do it with us. You could do it anywhere that you want. No. Go ahead and do it. It's $279 on average ticket when we get down on one knee and we propose, right, to the customer that they should be doing some service work to their car to keep their family safe. I trained this for years with the staff that I ran dealerships for, and I had one rule and one rule only. Never sell them what they don't need, but I want you to sell them everything they do need. Don't miss anything. Put the car on a lift, even if it came in for an annual inspection or an oil change. If it needs nothing, be honest, tell them it needs nothing. If it needs it, protect their family. And I used to have them actually come to me and say they're declining service. We didn't have a declining service repair order in our CRM or op code in our CRM. I was the guy. Because if they truly needed it, I went out and sold it to them. Sir, you really need brakes. You have 3 children. How can I help you? I know that sounds crazy, guys, but think about it. I don't want those people going to Quick Fit. I don't want them going to Pep Boys and Valvoline in my country. Real quick, take a look at this. That's Quick Fit's website. Notice anything from my earlier presentation? Clean, a little bit of negative white space, easy to navigate, coupons. I ask of you, please raise your hand if you run a car dealership and you have anything that looks like this on your website. Anybody? Not one hand. We're not in a service game. We're not playing a game at all. Not even a little. It's not just you, by the way. I promise. I'm not picking on you. I say this every day in the United States. No one there or here is playing this game that owns an independent shop that sells cars. Only the independent shops that only service cars. Imagine if we played the game and took all that business back, what that would mean. Raise of hands, who knows what absorption rate is? Imagine what it would mean if we played the game to our absorption rate. Absorption meaning how much of all total operating expenses to run a car dealership are paid for by the service work that we do, so that we have to sell less cars. I can pick from all of these things, offer-driven, 10% off, 10% off, 10% off. How does it make you feel? Pretty easy. I know I want the tire thing, and they're going to give me buy 3, get 1 free, whatever. Click, what the click path, I don't even have to show you. You can tell by looking at this, they understand the model, they understand the click path, they will get the deal. Fair? Because they're playing the game. Remember, these are the people. They service their cars too. They don't just buy them, they service them. Same needs. 2 different click paths, by the way. I found 2 for this dealership. I want to share them both with you. And then you can tell me which one I think that they should be using all the time without fail, 0 exceptions. Click 1. Maintenance at Lauman. And if you're in the room, oh, no, you're not, right? So, or are you? Nope. All right. Click path. First click. I'm here for service. I get it. Schedule appointment right away. Have to give credit to that button. That's pretty good. Might go down a good click path. But what if I don't see that button, don't choose that button, choose that I own a Toyota? And I get to Toyota. Toyota maintenance by Lauman. Schedule appointment right away. Okay, now maybe I click that one. I got it. But I just got off a Quick Fit's website. Again, I ask you, is it possible they shop service too? I just got off a Quick Fit's website and I saw all these really easy to navigate offers. Haven't seen an offer yet, right? Any of you kind of think you might bounce? All this typing right here for SEO can get pushed down. Doesn't need to be up top. Push it down and give them more of what they want. Push all that stuff down on a service page, give them more of what they want, which is clickable offers and coupons and things that make sense to them, no different than sales. Give the customer what they want, they'll click it. Oh, this is funny. So, see the word offer? I'm on the click path for service, yes? You know where I'm going with this now, right? I'm on the click path for service. And I did shop Quick Fit. And I know I'm indulging just a bit, but again, follow me and tell me that it doesn't make a little sense. I go, oh, maybe they do have offers. Because it's exactly what I did when I was doing this. Maybe I'll find that page I'm looking for, because I want to know if anybody's got that page. Beautiful, all the offers. So I click offers. And that's what I got. Took me straight to the SRPs. From the service page, with the word offers, I clicked it. You can do it yourselves. It'll take you to cars. Relevant or not relevant to the consumer? Trying to get their oil changed, or an annual service, or a transmission repaired. 4th click. Finally got a 4th click. Finally got an offer. Got to show you. Easy to read and understand what that $29 is, or is that better? Which one has clearly defined for the consumer in a way they want to do business with consumer? Remember these words. I haven't said them enough, so I'll say them very loud and proud right now. Everything that we do from a marketing standpoint, especially on a website, should be thinking about consumer expectations and behaviors. That's why we learn from Apple. We learn from all of those other companies that we just shared. Because they'd rather that experience than this experience. Now, to be fair, I found another click path for these guys. And this is a better path. It's Lauman. Make a workshop appointment. Click it. I did mobile here to show you just how easy it was on mobile. Consumer experience is better. Hey, we're happy to receive you. You can make an appointment at multiple locations. Pick one. Do you see how quick they're starting to pick? How much easier that path is? Because I'm asking relevant. Another word that I love. Relevant. Be relevant to the consumer. Perfect. I'll schedule an appointment. We have a few questions where you can see where this is going, correct? This path is going to lead to an appointment for service. So much easier. So much easier than the first click path. So if you have both at your stores, commit to the one. Commit to this one. It's much better. I don't, use whatever company that is that does that. Tires. I want to go over tires with you for a second. Why do I want to go over tires? Electric cars are coming. Yes? You know, we're nearing the end, guys. So ready, audience participation. Are electric cars coming? Yeah. How many? All of them. They're all going to be electric pretty soon. Yes or no? Pretty soon. Within reason. Whatever pretty soon means. 36 months or 10 years. They're all going to be electric. Yes? How many oil changes are you going to have? How many engine jobs are you going to have? Blown gaskets? Zero. Except for used cars. So two things. Be in the tire, the battery, the windshield wiper business. Be in the business of servicing what's still going to be left on a car that you can service profitably. And tires, for me, are something that you're going to want to learn now and get great at. Because you're going to need tire business for that fixed absorption rate. Because you're going to have software updates and not oil changes. Think ahead. I'm here to protect you. I'm here to educate and say, this is what I'm working on with my dealers. Get better at this because it's going to matter to you and your family and to your bottom line. We're not going to have a bunch of services that we currently have. It's one of the issues Tesla deals with, by the way. Service is just not profitable on that car. It's a sale. That's it. Remember this guy, black circles. I just want you to remember black circles for fun. I typed in Toyota Yaris. It's a big selling car here, correct? Yes? I think I did some research, said it was a big selling car, so I used something I thought would be relevant to you guys. Tire review, Michelin. I mean, Quick Fit might as well be there because the dealership's not. This is called shopping. You can do this. You could put your tires up there, and you could be the dealership that sells tires. Because consumer expectations and consumer behavior say what? If I want to buy tires, I want pictures of tires. I want it to be front and center. I want it to be relevant. I want it to be fast. I want it to be easy. It's no different than buying something from Amazon. Everybody with me? Makes sense? I don't even need to go past those pictures, do I? But who's in the pictures? Is there a dealer in those pictures? You all, I sounded like somebody from the South almost there in this first second from the United States. You all, right? You all sell tires. But not in Almere and not for a Toyota Yaris, not according to Google. Make sense? We're just not playing the game. Toyota dealer tires for sale. Instead of the model, I went for the brand. I thought maybe a Toyota store would show. I think there was one. Nope. Toyota, Tire Market, Michelin. Nope. Not one Toyota dealership advertising to sell tires. Please understand my passion for this is not to stand up with some ego to tell you that I think I know the future. I just think I know what's coming. You're gonna need to sell tires. They're profitable, they matter, the customers come back for them, they wear out, they come back again. Wherever they start to bid, but you need to start them now and get people buying tires from you in a way that makes them want to come back to buy their next set of tires from you. I do think it matters because if you can get all that tire business that you're currently losing because you don't care, I think it matters. Remember I told you, remember these guys. I'm just going to show you this quick. Please remember, you can have my deck. You can have it, you can email me, you can ask me questions, anything, I promise. 5 minutes?
If you want to catch the train.
Yes, I do. So my wife would be happy about that. So, but this is important. Listen, I do care. I want to get on the train with my wife, go to Paris. I'm going to re-propose to her tomorrow. So little luck if you guys, I hope she's not watching. I hope that you guys would just wish me a little luck. I hope she still loves me. So Toyota Yaris for sale. Pardon me, not Toyota Yaris for sale. Tires, Toyota Yaris. Did they not use a picture that looks like it's from the OEM? Yes? No? Negative white space, everything I taught you? Those guys are selling tires and they don't own a car dealership, but they're selling tires. How hard would it be for you to be in that business to just do this on your website with saying you got 1,702 reviews? How does it make a customer feel? Like maybe they want to sell me tires and it'll be super easy, so they sell a lot of tires. So I don't want to do this yet. I got 5 minutes. I want to show you something because I think it's super important and I want to make sure that I hit the train. I also want to make sure that you get value out of me being here. So give me 1 second. I'll use my last 4.5 minutes on this. Slideshow, presenter view. You're going to have questions about this, and I'm absolutely happy to answer them, and you can email me, get the deck from Paul. Google's Performance Max review, Performance Max, next generation of shopping campaigns. I'm going to summarize it for you quickly and show you some slides. Google allows you to show up across all of their ad and inventory formats. All of them. All you got to do is load up the content, tell them what you want to sell, and hit the Performance Max button, and they do all the work for you. Why I would tell you that as an audience, and I tell it in the United States too, when I'm an ad agency and I get paid to do this stuff, I have no idea, because it's super easy. You can do it yourself. When I say every single ad shown, search, display, video, Gmail, Maps, Discover, every platform that they have, this is probably piquing your interest. It's why I end with this. It's kind of cool. Search, how your ads will appear. That's what it looks like in Google Search. This is what it looks like in display on the right. You're showing up in search, you're showing up in display. Remember, all you did is set up one campaign. You did not set up campaigns across every one of these channels. Video, you show up on YouTube in videos. All you got to do, and I'll share with you, is load the content. They pick it for you. Gmail, you actually even show up in Gmail. Pretty cool, great place to show up. Not many people are doing it. You'll be one of the only, you'll stand out, you'll stick out, it converts. Maps, you show up in Maps. You know how to show up in Maps, but this does it for you. And Discover. Don't know much about Discover. It's new and it's only on Android from what I believe. I don't spend a lot of time thinking about Discover, but it does add value. Quick case study. This is a very large budget. Dealer spent $22,000, and we did do the work, by the way, which is kind of cool. $22,000 they spent. We had 1,651 conversions. Quickly, audience, I got 3.5 minutes left. What do I call a conversion? A lead. A lead. A lead. That's how we at Dealer World set up Google Analytics to call a conversion. Nothing else. It's a lead. Cost per click, 46 cents. Total cost per conversion, which is a lead, is $13. Can I get a round of applause for a $13 lead or something? Come on. Sheesh. By the way, look at the conversion rate on the website. What's that tell me about the website? What's that tell me about the dealer? They're doing it right. The website. It means I worked on it. It means I worked on the website. That was just ego and joking. Just kidding. A different scenario. Not $22,000. $2,800. $20 cost per conversion. Their website's not quite converting the way that it should. We could probably raise that. So before we go spending a whole lot more money, let's take a look at why we're not converting it over 3% on the website. But this is where it gets really cool. And if you get the deck from Paul, you'll see the bottom has all the analytics directly pulled from Google Analytics. I'm not making this stuff up. It's all real numbers. But here's how you do it. It's going to tell you how to set it up. I will tell you quickly in case you are AdWords smart and get it. You go into campaigns, you click that blue button for campaigns under your AdWords account. You pick leads. If we learn nothing else today, conversions are leads and leads matter, correct? Because then you can treat the lead like an asset too. So you pick leads. You pick Performance Max as your campaign structure. This is all just one after another, so it's pretty easy. So you're just in AdWords, again, remember. Budget and bidding, you set your budget at $2,800 or $22,000, right? You pick your budget. You pick your campaign settings and your locations. This is where it gets tricky. Oh, no, not yet. You name the asset group. You just name what you're going to call this campaign or asset group. This is where it gets tricky. You have to upload up to 20 images. You have to upload 5 logos. You have to upload some videos. So images, logos, videos, all of it. You just give Google everything they need to play with. They put it all together, and you show up in those 6 places, and they optimize it for you for best conversions. It is not for everything. This works amazing if you're trying to buy trades or use get trade-in value. Like, you know, what's the value of my trade? This works amazing for that. Inventory for like RAV4s or something, I don't know that it works quite as well. Yes, sir?
When you organize this for yourself or for your company, normally it's an online bidding if you're looking at advertisements.
Yeah.
So do they use your own budget themselves? Do they decide which costs?
We just take the total budget that the dealer has, and we allocate a certain amount of it towards Google Performance Max, just because we watch it and see how it works. We don't typically start with 22,000, but I've had that dealer spend as much as 45,000 a month on Google on this Performance Max. You can do much lower. What's cool about it for you though is I would use it for things that you want to convert. We were talking about conversion pages. Land them on a conversion page. All right, land these people on a conversion page, not the home page, and watch the conversions go. Very dialed in campaign with a very direct path to a landing page, and land them there, they will convert. All right? So that's what I got, guys. I appreciate your time. It means a lot to me. It's been a pleasure. And ask Paul for the deck, because there's a lot of stuff in there that you could use. I'm happy to share it with him. Okay? It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Awesome.